The layout.
Yeah.
Well, you can make the layout whatever you want, right? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it's different. There's stuff on the left there that wasn't here before. Hey guys, it's
Right?
Victor and Hikosaemon. Welcome
Yay, we're
back.
back.
Long time no see. And at first, I gotta start off by saying hats off. Two things. Hats off to you for completing your Tokyo. I assume you completed, right? I mean,
Yeah. Like, oh,
for completing the
this is
Tokyo
stuff.
Marathon.
I
That's your first
completed the
one.
Tokyo Marathon, my
Is
first
that your
marathon.
first marathon ever, or your first official marathon, or your first Tokyo
No,
Marathon, or
that's my
what's
first marathon of any kind ever.
ever? Even by yourself training, you never ran a marathon before.
No, no.
That's
When I
right.
was training for the marathon, the longest training runs that I would do were 3.5 hour training runs.
Uh-huh.
And I actually ran the full marathon in 3.5 hours. But when I ran 3.5 hours as a training run, I covered about 38 kilometers.
Wow,
So
that's a great time.
yeah, it
So
was pretty good.
you think you're like Elon Musk now? You're just swinging it. It's like
Oh, I'm much better than Elon
it's
Musk.
brushing the ground, right?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, if I could just pay a kid to go and run all the marathons for me in my name, that'd be great. That'd be the Elon Musk move. I think he does that with video games, right? He claims to be the number one player in the world
Yes.
at a video game and
His
pays
daughter
people up.
apparently, his trans
I would,
daughter says he's bullshit. But
yeah, I would do that only with marathons. I would get a Kenyan guy to run under my name, and I just claim all of his times as my own.
hey, I got to thank Believe in Yourself, and that is a great username who has just said 50,000, who's just sent us 50,000 Ds, whatever those are. But
These
it's it's the
dongs, dong. It's the currency. He likes to send dong to people.
Vietnam.
It is the currency of Vietnam, and
Oh
he gets a
wow.
kick out of sending us 50,000 dongs.
Well, I would like to say I'm always happy to get a dong, but that would not be true. Hey, it's great to see you, man. We haven't actually talked much at all. I just
Yeah,
congratulated you on the day. I emailed him on the day of the marathon,
you did indeed. Thank you very
and I
much.
said good luck. And then I emailed him afterwards to see if he was still alive, and he was.
Yeah, pulse check. I got
How did
through.
you feel? How did you feel afterwards?
Um, pretty shit. uh, so the
It is
thing
sports,
is,
right?
it
Oh,
is.
let me say cheers to you. And let me just say kampai. I'm gonna have a strong. I don't drink these much anymore, but this is a special
Mm,
occasion. So
yes,
yeah.
indeed. Um, yeah, well, the marathon itself,
Hmm.
having done full on training for like 8 weeks,
Hmm.
running almost every day, marathon training. So for the race, I was surprised. I've run half marathons, 21 kilometers, and been at my absolute limit. When I ran the marathon, 25K, comfortable, easy. To 25 to 30K, not so comfortable, but okay. But like trying. 35 to 42 was like, oh, like pace dropping off, just trying to get to the end. When you
Did you find
finish,
you were stronger in the beginning or at the end?
I wasn't strong at the end. In the beginning, you're in such a crowd. Everyone's running a bit slow, and you're just dodging a crowd. The first 5K,
Oh,
you're
really?
just like in a big traffic jam.
Mm.
So no, I was pretty comfortable, and you're all energized being there. You've got all this adrenaline and stuff like that. What was funny was, you're just waiting for the finish line by about 40K. You're just like, oh my
Mhm.
god, and you can see the build up when you get close to it. When you cross over the line, you just expect to stop and start walking. So the first thing was when I tried to stop, my legs were just on autopilot.
Mm.
They'd just been doing the same thing for
Right.
3.5 hours. So even when I tried to stop my legs, it's like my legs were running away on their own without me.
Wow, that's bizarre.
And then you're sort of like hobbling around and stuff like that. But then you get marshaled to go pick up all your bags and stuff that you leave. They drop it around on trucks at the finish line. But my bags were dropped at the furthest away pickup point, 2 kilometers away. And what happens
Oh,
as you're walking is, when you're walking, all the inflammation, you don't get inflamed while you're running because you're repeating the thing. But when you stop, all the inflammation goes down particularly into the soles of your feet
oh
and your
wow.
ankles and your knees. So you can't like walk downstairs, and you can't and as you're walking, it gets really painful as you're walking. Walking for 2 kilometers after the
Right.
finish was the worst part.
Let
And,
me
and, and oh,
go. I'm
one other
sorry.
thing. I
No.
desperately wanted to sit down. I desperately just wanted to give my legs a quick break, knowing that I might not get up again. I could not sit down on the ground. I was like trying to find a way to get down to the ground. I couldn't bend my legs. I couldn't control my legs to bend down
Because
onto the
Salmon
ground.
couldn't get down.
I
Wow.
could not get down. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Get
weird. It was
down.
really
Get
weird. But then I
down.
went out for I had a meal after. I had some ice cream, coffee, and
Did
yeah, so the
your
food tastes really good.
did your family come out to watch you, or
Nope.
really?
But I met some friends. I met some friends
They
who,
knew you were doing this. They knew you might not come home that day.
yeah, my wife was out of town. My son wasn't interested. You know, he's 16 years old. He's not supposed to be
Yeah,
interested. But,
yeah.
you know,
Kids,
it was okay.
high school kids are they're the perfect human being, as Elon Musk would say. They have no empathy at all. So they're
Yeah, yeah.
successful. You know.
He's okay, but you know, no, and I was okay. I wouldn't want to make him stand out there for a few hours. But I had a few friends at the finish line who took me out, which was
Yeah.
pretty cool. So yeah,
I
had some good
asked my
food.
son today, let's go to the bread shop and I'll buy you some bread. No, thank you. I'm okay. No, thank you. No,
Yeah.
come on, I'll buy you whatever you want. I'll buy you something. No, I'm
Hey,
okay.
what I would get for a no thank you? That would be that heaven to just get a no thank you.
Well, let's greet our audience, and so we haven't seen these
Yeah.
people in a long time. Void theft was first, he claims.
Void
but then
theft,
Sig
yeah,
4042 says, no, you are not. Dan H is here. Hi guys. Sig 442. Oh, by the way, I have to show you something. Let me share my screen.
Please, on the stream.
How do I do this?
While you're looking for that, Void Theft is asked me a quick question about
Sure.
half marathons enough to prepare for a full marathon. I would say, I mean, it's better than not preparing at all. But yeah, I've done a few half marathons, and it was a totally different thing. But the training that you do for a full marathon is totally different.
Okay.
I was running 2 half marathons a week as part of my training for a full marathon. So yeah, they help.
Crazy.
But it is a different beast, is the answer to your question, Void Theft.
Okay, I think I found now. I'm trying to find it. I made a list. Oh, here it goes. Okay. I want to share something with you, which is not very exciting, but let's give some. Okay, I'm going to share a. Do I share a window? How do I do this? Share a screen. Okay.
You present, and then you share a screen.
Window.
Yes. And then you pick.
Okay, here we go. There we go. I got it. Okay, there we go. Can you see that? Yes.
Traveling Man, Darren Blomfield.
These are all the people that I had blocked on my channel, and I have unblocked them all today.
Oh, Lex Tokyo.
I'd forgotten, guy. So I thought I would.
These people, but I recognize some names. Darren Blomfield, I vaguely remember. He's like a business guy, right?
I don't know why he was blocked. I don't remember. I was looking through this list and I can't remember why any of these people were blocked.
I remember Lex. I've met him at a few.
Philip Steele liked to talk about anal sex a lot. I remember that. David Higby. That's bizarre. That's my old coworker.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he's blocked. I don't know why.
He's like blocked. People who say that. Yeah, exactly. You know.
Oh, I know Michael. You know Michael Gillen Peckett.
I do know him. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Bald Bill. Oh, that's the guy who pretends to be Ronan Dave all the time. This is going back
to be
years.
Ronan Dave.
Yeah. So you
How
see
do you
his
pretend
picture?
To be Ronan Dave.
See his picture?
Okay. No, I mean it's really.
That's Ronan Dave's icon. He stole it and he pretends to be him, and he goes around calling himself a loser because he's pretending to be Ronan Dave. Nova Joke. Do you remember this guy? Nova Joke.
Vaguely troll. I remember that troll.
This is like 15 years ago. This guy used to troll all English teachers and talk. And he hated Nova.
Yeah.
And you talk about how much he hated Nova.
Yeah.
A lot of these people I don't
successful, busy people here. I can see.
Yeah, you can see. But look, not that many people blocked. To be honest, this is over 15 years. So.
Yeah.
Tony Michael's insane.
New Zealand Family. What did New Zealand Family do to you? NZ Family. NZ Family is like a cat.
Do you know him?
No, but it's a New Zealand family. It must be awesome.
I don't know, but he's unblocked now. They're all unblocked, so we'll see.
Oh, you blocked Ukraine. I mean, that could have been the president of Ukraine right there. You could have had him blocked all this time.
That would be funny if we accidentally blocked someone we really respect politically. Yeah, these are all the people who are blocked. So a couple of
you let the dogs out. Basically, you freed the you opened the asylum. It's like Ghostbusters. You're like the EPA pulling the lever and
two and a half Oyajis ago or so.
Yes,
I blocked someone by accident. Yeah. Oh, by the way, check out this guy's name. I blocked someone by accident. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to block him, and then I was trying to unblock him, and I couldn't find him. Oh, this show 56 more. Well, then he must have been in that list. But I just unblocked everybody automatically, so they're all unblocked.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But anyway, so congratulations on that. I have a couple topics to bring up to you.
This is like you're like Trump. You're just pardoning everybody.
Yes, I pardoned everybody, just like Trump. Yes, except
Yes.
I'm sure my criminals are not half as bad as his, but and
Although
none of them.
some of them might be on both lists, you know.
You never know. You never know. What does this say?
Yeah.
We'll start. Oh, yes, cool. So I got some heavy stuff for you. I got some light stuff for you. Let's start off with some light stuff.
Light stuff.
Okay, light
Yes.
stuff. These are comments I've seen recently that I'd like to get your view on.
Yep.
I was on Reddit the other day, and
Commentary.
people were discussing whether maybe it was Twitter. Yeah, I went on Twitter. That's right, for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
I tried
Go
to
back
stay
to
off
full
the
screen. You look
I'm
tiny.
going to take. Yeah, I'm about to stop that. Yeah, because someone I don't like Twitter because to be honest, because of Elon Musk.
It's called X.
But apparently they're making money now. They're making $1 billion a year. You heard about the sale, Ralph? You heard about the sale?
The sale?
He sold Twitter to his AI company.
Oh, okay. I mean, I know the AI stuff is being like run through Grok is being run through X, right? Although
So he sold. He has an AI company and he sold Twitter to it for 44 billion or so. I've seen two different news reports. One said 33 billion, one said 44 billion or 45 billion. But either way, he's going to be using all the Twitter information to help train those AI systems.
Yeah, so, which is another reason. It's why I'm on Blue Sky, everybody, and I still do. Yes. I still post now and again on Twitter, but I'm using Blue Sky as the main. Blue Sky works like Twitter used to work.
I'm going to get more active starting April 1st.
Yeah,
I found my old account, and I followed you today. I finally found it. I actually have the real Give Me a Break Man account. So
I find, by the way, Blue Sky, even though I have fewer followers on Blue Sky, for whatever reason, the way that the algorithms are working on Twitter, whenever I post on Twitter, I don't get any views, any reactions, anything. I've got 15,000 followers there, and I don't get anything. Whereas I've got like 500 followers on Blue Sky, and I get 10 times more engagement over there.
Well, that's great.
So seriously, Elon's just like screwed. Like even if I didn't like hate Elon's guts, it's still the site just isn't working as well, at least for me. So yeah, no, I'm off. I think he's probably funneling traffic to people who pay, who get the blue marks and everything. Right. Oh, I'm not going to pay for it. So no, Blue Sky. That's where all the cool kids are.
Right. That's good. So I'm on there I'm Give Me a Break Man. I do have two accounts now. One's called Give Me a Break Man. One's called Real Give Me a Break Man. But let's use the original Give Me a Break Man. So I'll have to tell people about that. Though. Please follow me there if you're there. Yeah. Yeah, I was telling you about Elon Musk. I have a big question about that. But anyway, I was on Twitter and someone said, I'll just post the comment here and you can, I'll feature it here as you can see. This is the comment. There we go. Show. Okay. There's definitely a degradation of customer service in Japan. Oh my God, he's shocked. Hikosaemon's shocked.
Dramatic zoom.
That's good. So I have not noticed this, but I don't live in Tokyo. So I think this might be a Tokyo thing. But a lot of people are supporting this comment saying, yeah, me too. I've seen this happening. Japan service is going down the tube. It's becoming like China or other Asian countries. So I wanted to ask you your opinion since you live in Tokyo. Have you noticed anything?
I mean, no. I don't think it's no. I mean,
yeah, I haven't either.
You know what? I get the feeling this is obviously like one of those gaijin expat forums. There is something that, you and I, grizzled veterans like ourselves, we've been through all the phases, right? And I sometimes have fun watching people who shall remain unnamed that, have just stayed immature forever, while watching other people who started out extremely immature and through just, suffering and pain and becoming jaded or whatever, and their perceptions change, the way that they talk about things over time. In fact, there's a specific account I was laughing at today who was posting, just complaining literally about customer service and how all these things are just shit, they're more, not like they used to be, specifically talking about Don Quixote. And I was like, dude, Don Quixote has always been shit. It's just like you're noticing now. You're right.
Well, it's always been shit or it's always been awesome because it is a crazy story.
But this is it. So when you're a 20-year-old fresh off the boat in Japan, right? Don Quixote is awesome to anybody, right?
Right.
But when you've been here for 10 years and then all of a sudden the shop starts to feel like a fire hazard and get the hell out of my way and get off my lawn, that's what it becomes over time.
Right.
So I don't know. I suspect that's the sort of comment that people who are gradually becoming more jaded with Japan, you know those phases that after 3 years you get jaded, after 5, You know, people stay here over time, and the stuff which used to be fun starts to get annoying. I don't think Japan's always changing, but I don't think customer service has declined. I think probably the person writing it and the people agreeing have just gotten crankier because they're just the magic is wearing off and they're angry at Japan for it. And they'll probably be buying an air ticket within 6 months.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Regarding this topic. Okay. Do you remember? I'm sure you've been here a long, long time, almost as long as I have.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've had some unpleasant experiences with customer service, right? So, when did those experiences happen? In that the ones that remain fresh in your mind, did they happen a long time ago or more recently?
You know what? Okay, the things with customer service, two things that jump to mind. One was I was trying to book a sports ground from the city council for my rugby team, and the person at the city council specifically was giving me a hard time because I was a foreigner. I was a resident of the ward, and I was, as a resident, able to book the sports ground, and I'd done it before. But this guy was like, the manager sort of came out and said, "Hey, check the rule book if foreigners are allowed to book these," which, is kind of like movie type racism. And honestly, because and it's literally in 26 years, it's the only time someone's ever looked me in the eye and is like, check if foreigners are allowed to book the sports ground.
I'm sorry, you did this face to face?
Yeah,
or on the phone?
it was in person, and
really?
and the guy, I had to go up to the management office, and the guy who was handling it was right away, sir. And the manager, "You stop, get the rule book, check if foreigners." And I'm like, I pay taxes, I'm a resident. He's like, "Yeah, check the rule book," and I was able to do it, but he was just an asshole about it deliberately. But the thing is, I would expect.
And how long? When was that? That was pretty recent, right?
No, that was more than 10 years ago.
Okay,
and you know what? And in 26 years. That's literally the only time. All you expect to run into racism once a week or whatever in Japan. That is literally in 26 years the only time I've ever had like in your face racism towards me. The other thing that still annoys me today, and it happens occasionally, is I'll be out with a Japanese person, and I'll be asking for something, and the lady answers to the Japanese person and says, "Tell him." I'll say, "Hey, do you have any of this bread today?" And the lady says to the person next to me, "Yeah, tell him we're out of stock." I'm standing right here. You're literally answering me.
Yeah. Well,
But you know what? That doesn't happen as much anymore. That doesn't happen as much. That used to happen more. Nowadays, people in Tokyo are so used to seeing foreigners that if you speak Japanese,
I think Tokyo, yes, much more than
they're actually happy about it now. Like, it used to be even when even when you were speaking Japanese, they would ignore you. But now so many people don't speak Japanese that if you do, I don't know. I think that's actually improved, if anything.
So the reason I asked you that is because in my experience is pretty similar in that my worst experiences happened a long time ago. And of course, at that time, but this differs from your experience, I could not speak Japanese at all.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So it's hard to tell whether that had anything to do with it, right? I remember being here. I was here like less than a month, and I went on a date with this girl, Yasuko.
Yeah.
Okay, Yasuko. Okay.
Cheap girl.
First date.
Cheap girl.
Yeah, literally, her name is Cheap Girl, but she wasn't a cheap girl. She was a hot girl who I had to ask like 10 times before she finally said yes. I basically stalked the poor woman, but she finally said yes. We went on a date. We went to a cocktail bar.
Yeah.
And we were having a drink, and she ordered something that required Tabasco sauce. So they brought her cocktail with a little Tabasco sauce on the side, and I jokingly grabbed the Tabasco sauce to put it in my drink as well. And the cocktail waitress came over angrily.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to do it. I was just pretending to. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do it too. And she came over angrily to reprimand me. And I remember being shocked at how bossy she was. I wasn't angry. I was like, oh, well, well, she's obviously upset about this. But I had been here like less than a month. I must have been here maybe even 2 weeks or something when this happened. But it remains, those things that happen in the beginning of your experiences, you remember those. They're a bit fresher. And I remember.
Yeah, go ahead.
I remember a couple waitresses like that being really rude. One in Kyoto, I was with a different girl many years later, about 2 or 3 years later. But she brought her coffee and cake over and just slammed it on the table like, here's your cake, here's your coffee. But she didn't say anything. So I was thinking, and I told her, I said, Japan is lucky that they don't have the tipping service system here. I remember saying that to my girlfriend at the time, because she was such a bitch. But besides that, the experiences have been few and far between. So I don't understand where this.
Also, what's considered bad service? I've taken. There's that thing about when you want to customize an order, or when,
And
sometimes for a legitimate reason, like
the
my friend's
Japanese never
religious.
do that. Very rarely do that, right?
Right. And there's also all these New Yorkers who come here and think that good service means I can customize my order. And, and they test out whether I can, ask for a special adjustment to my salad or something. And the waiters and waitresses are completely confused by the notion that someone's trying to customize their order. Like, do you want the salad or not? Like, you don't get to, what's this customization? I don't understand. And all my New York friends telling me, hey, the service here isn't so good. You can't customize anything. I'm like, shut up. You're embarrassing me. Please stop. But I remember myself. I still remember like in my first couple of years in Japan, again, right at the beginning. And this is just funny to me. There's like a Kentucky Fried Chicken set where you get like 6 pieces of chicken. And I was just super hungry and a 23-year-old, so I could eat as much as I want. 6 pieces of chicken and 2 large fries, or 6 pieces of chicken and 2 large coleslaw salads. And I'm like, well, what I really want is 6 pieces of chicken, a fries, and a salad, but
Oh, right, of course.
they only offer one or the other. And so I asked the guy, hey, you've got the same, exactly the same price. You've got the two chips and the 6 pieces, or the 2 coleslaws and a 6 piece. I said, can I just get one of each with mine? I mean, it's the same price, right? And the guy at the guy, you can watch the guy's brain explode. He's looking down for the button on the control panel, and he just, does not compute, shutting down. And he actually calls over the manager, and the manager comes up to me, and they both look down at the control panel. They look up at me, and the manager says, no, you can't, it does
Even
not
that's the
compute.
same exact thing.
I mean, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
that
those
is-
of
that
you
is
who
Japan.
don't, for those of you who don't live in Japan, customization here is like, would you like bread or rice? That's about it.
Yeah.
Those
I
are
mean,
your 2
literally,
choices.
I mean, I realize people think that, I can customizing a different sort of, dressing or something like that. But it's literally like walking into McDonald's and asking for Kentucky Fried Chicken, trying to customize your order here. Like, people's brains just can't handle. No, when you go to a restaurant in Japan, good service is you're paying for them to do their thing for you. You're not there to tell them what to do. Like, that is the idea in America, and this is the thing in America that drives me crazy, is it takes 10 minutes to order anything because, they stop you. I want a sandwich. What sort of bread do you want? I don't know. Shit, white bread, whatever. Is, what sort of dressing do you want on your sandwich? Oh, Jesus, just make me the effing I feel like I'm doing more work, choosing the sandwich than they are making it for me.
Well, you've heard all those crazy Starbucks orders, right? All the choices that they have.
Oh, they really drove me insane. And they expect you to pay a tip at the end of it. I'm exhausted from answering your survey. And you want me to pay you a tip on top of it. So the Japan system is better, but in America they think that's good service.
My father had a hip replacement last February, so I went back for a month to help him out. Be a good son, right? Be the oyakoko. And while I was there, he had me go down to by the way, it's Yoko's Japanese restaurant in Tampa, and Yoko's the name of my wife. So my father he doesn't realize it's not a real Japanese restaurant. You go there and everyone's Mexican or Filipino. So no one who's there is Japanese. Anyway, I go there to pick up the food. Yeah. After I pick it up, of course, and then what's coming, right? I get an iPad. This is how much would you like to tip? 15, 25, or 30? Yeah. I'm like, really? You seriously? Yeah. I've come here to pick up the food and I'm going to tip? No, I'm not going to tip. I did it the first time. No, I didn't do it the first time. And I went back and said, and I complained to my parents. And my dad's like, no, don't cause any problems. We always go there. So next time, just go ahead and give them 20%. Give them the minimum.
And when they installed that software that's now on every one of those machines that offers those 3 choices, and everyone feels pressured into doing it, it generated all this extra money for these places, just putting in the higher numbers by default. And everyone just felt socially pressured into, instead of giving a 10% tip, giving now 20% tips to everyone. That was only temporary for the pandemic, right? I mean, it just reinforces the system was already screwed up. But
I saw on the John Oliver show the other day that there's a robot that makes coffee in one particular coffee shop.
That's exactly
and it asks you for a tip too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I went to in Seattle, and I did pay a tip. I think I told you.
You tipped the robot.
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, I assume they're going to be in charge one day, so I want them to remember that I paid the tip.
You got to remember the robot overlords. Okay.
That's right.
Well, that's a great and long answer. So anyway, we have decided that customer service in Japan is doing okay, so you guys don't worry about
it. The problem is you, not the service. I think is the conclusion.
Number 2.
You're a jaded foreigner.
Number 2, off the cuff comment that I never thought about, and I think is wrong, and I'll defend it, which is this one.
Wow. Dramatic.
Old people Here it is on the screen. Old people are miserable. Old Japanese people
Old
are miserable.
Japanese people are miserable. Wow.
What do you think?
Wow.
I haven't
Well,
answered it.
because old people everywhere else I go are so happy. I mean, what happened to Japan, right?
Well, what do you know about suicide rates in Japan compared to suicide rates in other countries? I mean,
Well,
regarding old people and suicide rates.
regarding old people, they are declining. They're going down. There has traditionally been a high suicide rate in Japan, and Japan is associated with high
Yes.
suicide rates for elderly,
Yes.
particularly when they get sick or in debt or something like that, and they go off into those forests and stuff to die because they don't want to be a burden to people and stuff. They've got a bit of that going on,
It's
but
not a bad idea. I mean, I wouldn't want to be a burden to anyone myself. So.
oh, almost be a burden. So yeah, in Japan, and there isn't the religious stigma against suicide that there is in Western countries. So you have,
Oh, right, right.
so it
It's not a
happens a
sin.
bit more, but yeah, it's tough being old anywhere, including in Japan. Sure, and the suicide rates out here are higher, probably partly because of that. So yeah,
Actually, they're not. Suicide rates in
No, no.
Japan for older people are lower compared to Americans. I don't know. I don't know about New Zealanders, but because they take care of the older people. There's so many old people here. There's more of a community here with old people.
Oh yeah, well,
But
but at
young
the same,
people
yeah.
on the other side, on the other end, on the other spectrum, the young people here in Japan got it tough. And there's the suicide rate among younger people compared to Americans is much higher in Japan. So it sucks to be young. It's tougher to be a young person in Japan. It's easier to be old.
Yeah, that makes me think. You and I mean, are you? I hate this classification, by the way, but I'll say, do you qualify as Gen X or are you outside of that?
I don't know. I was born in 1967.
Oh, you're
I
right.
don't think I'm Gen
on the
X.
cusp.
I don't think
No,
I'm Gen X.
no.
No, I think
Oh, you're on the
I'm after,
tail end of boomers. Yeah.
I'm old. Yeah, I'm post boomer.
Yeah, you're in that thing, but born in the '60s, so the tail end of the baby
What
boomers.
about you? Are you Gen X?
I'm totally Gen X.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm smack in the middle of it. But there is this thing about how all the people who were born in the '60s, and the '50s, during the population boom, they're basically bankrupting all the generations that come after them. There's this glut of people, and afterwards the population, particularly in Japan, dramatically declined. In the '70s, the birth rate, the '80s, the birth rate really declined, but the birth rate was super high in the '50s and the '60s.
Mhm.
So there's this thing that, they did all the drugs and sex in the '60s, and then they sort of got the lifetime jobs, and then they got to have the bubble and go on helicopter ski trips, and they basically and I came into
I
the
am Gen
labor
X.
market just after.
I'm Gen X. I just looked it up.
Yeah, when does it start?
1965 to 1980.
Well, congratulations, you're in the club that sucks. So we're basically just left to look after ourselves after our parents
wow.
are like passed out from the party that they had.
I'll repost this.
That we have to pick up the cost for. So yeah, I guess elderly people kind of would have it, especially in Japan. They definitely have it better. I mean, young people, think about it. All those people older than us,
Mhm.
they never had to worry about getting jobs. They never had to worry about, they've got tons of friends because, our generation in Japan, everyone was stressed out because the economy was, collapsing through the 90s when we came into it. Everything's sort of a struggle, and they're always getting paid, and they're always got all these middle managers above them who are these these boomer people. So yeah, two angry old guys talking about old people. Well, exactly.
Are we angry? I thought we were quite cheerful tonight, but
No, I think we're cheerfully angry.
I wasn't a very angry young man, but I become
face down in the street with a gun in his hand.
I just hopeless. I just lost all hope.
I was a very cheerful young man.
Actually, I think I was sullen as a teenager, what most teenagers are, but I've become quite cheerful and positive as I've become older.
I'm basically a delusionally optimistic person.
Jason has lost Japan. Pleasure meeting both of you previously. He looks familiar. How do I know that guy? You know that guy? He said pleasure meeting both of you previously.
Oh, let's have a look. Let me click on his.
He looks familiar. I don't know exactly why.
Yeah.
Anyway,
his
okay.
is super small for me. Oh yeah, I think I recognize him. Yeah, I think I've met him at an event years ago. Yeah.
Okay, here's another. Here's another.
Yeah, I see him now. Yes.
Japanese women. Oh, you know this guy?
Japanese women.
Do we know this guy?
I've met him.
He says he met me too, but I don't.
Good to see you, Jace.
Oh, well,
Next
good to
one,
see you
Japanese
again.
women. Yeah, you had me at Japanese women.
Japanese women
I
are
agree.
not wearing high heels or wedge heels anymore. They're wearing Crocs.
Gives a crap. Really? Oh, come
That's-
on. I mean,
So,
there are like 61 million of them. Last I checked,
I will.
some wear Crocs and some wear high heels. What is,
Well,
internet?
Crocs are becoming more popular, but Crocs are becoming more popular amongst everyone,
Yes.
men and
Yeah.
women. Did
Yeah.
anyone run? By the way, did anyone run the marathon wearing some crazy costumes?
Well, of course, crazy costumes.
Mhm.
But I'll tell you what, at about the 5K mark, I actually took a video. I saw this guy from behind wearing a Hawaiian shirt, shorts,
Mhm.
and Crocs running the Tokyo
Wow.
Marathon. And I'm like, oh my God, who is this awesome, awesome person? And I went up right and I said, hey, much respect. You're running the marathon in a pair of Crocs. Like, seriously.
He was a Japanese guy.
No.
Right.
So he wasn't, so Hawaiian shirt, Crocs,
Mhm.
so, big 70s style sunglasses, and a cheerful expression on his face. Where is this man from?
New Zealand, Hawaii,
No.
where? Oh no, no, Australia. Yes,
That's
they're
it. Yeah.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
As soon as
you're
where are you
you're half
from?
you're half Australian, so
I'm half Australian, which is why it makes so much sense to me. It says, like, oh, g'day. I was like, oh, no, it makes sense immediately. Yeah. It was like, awesome. Legend. Absolute
you
legend.
got a video? Did you post that somewhere?
I did. I posted it. I think it's on Instagram. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll
Awesome
check
guy.
it
In
out.
fact, I think I included, no, I put it on YouTube in my video I took of the day.
Okay,
But yeah.
cool, cool, cool.
But
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah,
was a student
Crocs.
when I met you at Hanami, but now I'm fourth year at Jet. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did this. Was saying name and face looks a little bit familiar, but okay. Here's the last. Okay, here's the big one. Here's the big one. And I had to ask you this one because you're white. Now I have to tell you something, Hiko, because you may not know this, but I'm not. I don't consider myself white.
You're
Okay.
Latinx? Hmm.
However,
Yeah.
my sister and my brother consider themselves white.
Yeah.
My other
Well,
sister considers
Latino is
herself
not a race.
Hispanic. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. I know. Um, but I've always growing up in America. I have
Mm.
on quite many occasions been accused of being Cuban, Mexican, Puerto Rican, and American Indian.
I mean, I
um,
don't know.
but
I would love to be mistaken for any of those, but not gonna happen.
and I've never. It doesn't bother me. I just
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, no, you're just wrong. I'm
Yeah.
not Mexican. I'm not Puerto Rican. I'm not Cuban.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one's ever said, "Are you Peruvian?" Right? Except
Yeah.
in Japan. In Japan, Peruvians know other
Oh,
Peruvians.
there are a lot. Yeah, you go to some parts of Japan, there's tons of
Yeah.
Peruvians. Yeah.
But here's the interesting thing. Now there's a new show on Netflix called Adolescence.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
Okay, it's gotten a lot of press, so I looked it
Yes.
up. I
Yeah.
looked it up, and everyone says it's great. It's got like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I went and I watched it. It's only 4 episodes. It's a British show.
Yeah.
It's 4 episodes, and basically, I don't think I'm spoiling anything. It's about a murder.
Mhm.
A young high school girl gets murdered, and a young high school boy gets accused.
Mm.
Okay,
Yep.
and the murder is a stabbing.
Okay.
Okay, so no big deal, right?
I
Are
mean,
you
it's a
perturbed by it?
stabbing, but
That's
so
that's the
yeah,
plot. That's the
it's a
plot.
plot.
But
It's a
but here's what
regular
gets
type of TV
interesting.
show. Yeah.
So the show does gangbusters. By the critics love it. The people love it. I saw it. I wasn't particularly impressed, but when I watched it, I will admit the acting was incredible.
Yes.
However, then Elon Musk posts
Yeah.
or responded. I don't know the exact context, but he responded or he posted or reposted. But anyway, someone said, I'll just say someone. Someone said, "Oh, they whitewashed the criminal, the white kid who stabs the white girl in England, because this takes place in England, right?
Yeah.
In England, only black kids stab other kids. Only black kids stab. That's a black
Okay.
kid crime, but they don't want to make it. They don't want to
They
make
don't
it
make it
look bad,
racial.
so they
Yeah.
made it into a white kid, right? But
Yeah.
but I'm watching this, and I saw the show, and I thought it never once crossed my mind that could be possible. It
Yeah.
just there wasn't even an issue with me, right?
Mm.
Um,
Well, there is a bit of a thing in Hollywood, right? How the bad guys, they're generally, there's a slight political correct. They choose Hans Grubers, they choose, well-dressed Europeans as the
mm,
villains often nowadays rather than people who are stereotypes. And there was a thing actually. So, okay, there's a thing that often movies want to cast people who look Hispanic, to play villains in movies. And there is actually a specific backlash where there's like the union of Latino actors in Hollywood doesn't want any of their union members playing villain roles because it's making Hispanic people look like like drug dealer roles and stuff like that. And apparently Hollywood found a workaround. They found out that Maori New Zealanders
Mhm.
are happy to play criminal Hispanic people, and they look just
Oh
the
yeah,
same.
yes.
And
Um,
so all of
the
a sudden,
The Denzel Washington movie, Training Day, Training Day.
oh yeah, Smiley.
Those
Oh,
guys are all New Zealanders.
well, not all of them, but the main guy is. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. They're now all of a sudden these awesome Kiwi guys are getting these awesome like badass like acting roles, and they're basically all playing Latinos because Latinos have boycotted these villain roles. And and there's actually there's a TV
Flight of
show
the
called Flight
Condors.
of the Conchords. Yeah,
I
about New
love that
Zealanders living
show.
in America.
My wife and I love that. We would watch that religiously every week.
Yeah, and there's a moment where the embassy is trying to set up an event where they want people to play Maoris as bad guys, and they're like, he says, no, you're a Maori, you can play the roles. Like, oh, I never play a villain as a Maori. It's okay. We'll just get some Mexicans, because in New Zealand they know that they're recruiting New Zealanders to play bad guys. Yeah, but yeah,
That's funny.
I don't know if that's a thing. I know there's a sensitivity in America, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I think it's a very American thing. Do you remember when Ghost in the Shell came out?
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah. And they
Scarlett
used Scarlett
Johansson was playing the
Johansson
white
and
girl.
everyone.
Yeah, and the Japanese were like, we don't care. It's fine.
Yeah.
Nobody
All
in
these Asian
Japan was
Americans got
complaining.
upset. And the whole point, if you actually understood what it was about, it's literally about a Japanese person's, soul getting transferred into other bodies. So it literally is supposed to be a different body in the first place. It wasn't, and Japanese thought, oh, great, and everyone in Japan loves Scarlett Johansson.
Right.
So, there's a lot of cases like that. There's also the thing with all the people in America saying that white people wearing kimonos, like on tourist
Oh
things or
my
whatever,
God, yeah.
are like appropriating Japanese culture. And you have all these Chinese, Asian American activists saying, that's appropriating our Asian American culture, you white people wearing a kimono. And Japanese like, I think it looks great on her.
Yeah, yeah.
No
There
one
was a
cares.
there was a famous case on Instagram of a girl who'd been accused of that,
Mm,
and at the end, she pulls out her Japanese passport because she's half,
yeah.
and she's like,
Yeah.
I have every right to wear
Yeah.
this.
Well,
But
and
even if she weren't,
like, what the hell is wrong? And honestly, and this is what I hate to say this, people like that making a problem out of that sort of thing is why people wanted to vote against, it's how we
Trump.
got Trump.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
how we got Trump.
yeah, no, you're
Because
right.
there's
You're
just
right.
too much bullshit from
Yeah,
people like this doing that
I
sort of
agree.
thing. And people said, let's just like get rid of all of it. And they're doing that. But it's just because honestly, the woke crowd pushed it too far, and now everybody's pushing back, and now we've got this.
No, I agree.
So moderation, everybody, please, moderation. Be an asshole in moderation, I think, is the moral of the story.
It's true.
Be an asshole, but just don't be a big asshole. Be a
I
smaller
agree.
asshole.
I agree. So those were my questions for you about that. That was the big one because you're a white guy. Well, actually,
As resident white guy, yeah, there aren't many of us around, so I'm happy to be an authority as a
well,
representative of white people.
I mean, it's a strange question for me because I never really considered myself white, but I grew up with white people. I was like the only Hispanic kid in my whole school. Well, there was three of us maybe,
Yeah.
but we all thought we were white, So we don't.
Yeah.
But yeah. The funny thing for me is living in Japan is actually in a way more comfortable because I'm obviously not Japanese.
Yeah.
So I don't obviously belong. So it's not a big deal when someone points it out. But in America, when someone points it out, it's a little insulting because I actually grew up with everyone there.
There is a thing as well. As you grow up, when you're in your 20s, you really care about your identity and how you're perceived, and you really worry about it. And this is where people demand that I be identified, the way I want to be identified. But you sort of realize, I think, as you get older, you really care much less, progressively less about what other people think about you. I think I realized through my 30s, at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is what the people who know you think about you. You can't control what a stranger across the road looking at you thinks. Oh, gaijin. Oh, he called me a gaijin. He thinks I'm a foreigner. I might not be a foreigner. I am a foreigner, but I might not be one. I might be a half, whatever. Who gives a shit, right? Why do you care what those people over there think? And you stop wasting, you use up a lot of energy on that in your 20s. But I think in your 30s, your 40s, you sort of just realize, who cares? It doesn't matter. There's not enough, time in the world to worry about that stuff. So yeah, you also
I
chill out about that
I
stuff.
wish there was a way we could teach that to children, because I think a lot of children are stuck in that of caring about what other people think.
I think that's just part of growing up.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
that's
you're
just
right.
everybody's just got to go through that. Part of, becoming, I think it's all hormones and DNA and shit that we all have to just go through those phases, to
Mm,
arrive at where we are. It'd be great. It'd be great if we could skip it, but then I think we'd be different if we didn't go through it.
mm, mm. So my son and daughter,
Yes.
if I'm walking down the street, we so recently. Do you know that the Apatsu song by
Apatsu. Yeah, yeah. Bruno
yeah,
Mars.
Rose
Yes.
and Bruno Mars, right? So I would play it on my iPad. I mean, not
Yeah.
iPad, iPhone,
Yeah.
and walk down the street with the kids.
Yeah.
And my kids would be like, "Turn it down, Dad. This is
Yeah.
embarrassing." Even if
Yeah.
no one's around. And like, "Dad, this is embarrassing. Don't
I
turn it down, turn it on." But when we were young, when they were younger, I've never changed. When they were younger, oh, Zach Phoenix, come home from the
oh,
YouTube anime. We have to ask him about that. Um,
Zach lost his voice. Hey Zach,
yes,
I'm sorry I couldn't make it. I had some things on today. I couldn't get around there, but I appreciate every year that you're continuing to hold up the torch of the YouTube Hanami. I know
yeah.
you're out there all day doing it, and that you sacrificed your voice on it. I do appreciate you doing it. I'm sorry I couldn't get there, but much respect.
We should go. I know APT is
Yeah.
drinking some game song. You know. Anyway,
Yeah. So
but my
if you're
kids,
playing it, and your kid's like, "You're embarrassing me, Dad." Yeah.
yeah. But the point was they love the song, but they don't want me to play in public. They're like, who cares if what anyone thinks about you? But they're like, no,
No.
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. They're
Honestly, if
really
I was
embarrassing.
walking with you down the street and you were playing Up Too Loud on your phone, I'd say turn that shit off, man. You're embarrassing me. I would say that. And
I would think you'd join me,
no,
but
no,
no.
no, no. I'm not.
All
I'm
right.
not that far gone. And you know what? When I was in America, there are people in America, and I've been in Japan too long. It's the thing about the '80s. People walking around with the ghetto blasters
Oh
and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And when you go hiking in the forest in America, there are people who go hiking and they carry speakers and they're playing like techno
Yeah,
music and shit over.
I
And
don't
and
like
I
that.
like techno music, but it's one thing. Okay, if you want to listen to music while you're hiking, put in some headphones and listen to whatever the hell you want.
Yeah,
But when
yeah.
you're carrying a speaker going around, and I remember I was out hiking with a Japanese friend, and they walked past us, and my
You were
Japanese
in the
friend
USA?
in America, in Seattle,
Okay.
when I was out hiking in the mountains near Washington and stuff, and these asshole hikers who go around with carrying their external speakers, like
Mm.
blasting their music to everybody. I was like, geez, I hope a bear gets him. You know, yeah.
Um, but I think a bear
Stand-up
would
comedy.
probably be scared. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a couple. Cause thinking about yeah. This is, you never know who watches your videos.
Well, yeah, anyone could watch it, but yes, I
But
now
let me tell you
lately
what
I have
happened to
lower and
me
lower expectations, but yes,
uncomfortably the other day.
uncomfortably. Okay.
About 2 weeks ago, I put up a video, and this is a video that I had found on my phone that
Yeah.
I'd completely forgotten that I had taken
Okay.
because I was drunk.
Yeah.
So last September,
Yeah.
I came back from a comedy show when I was watching my friends do comedy. We have a comedy group here in Niue who does regular comedy shows. So I went to go see the comedy show, and I
Yeah.
hadn't been in a while. And I used to
Yeah.
be part of that group. And
Okay. Yeah.
I did a video. I used to do stand up comedy. Like
I
I'd
know.
gone on
Yeah.
stage 4 or 5 times. But
Right.
then our leader. It's
Yes.
hard to say. Leader is kind of a strange word to say to comedy. But anyway, the guy who organized everything, great guy, old friend, one of the first guys you never met in Japan actually, and a oh shit, I just forgot the polylingual. No, what do you call the people who can speak all those different
Polyglot.
languages?
Polyglot.
Polyglot. Not polylingual. Polyglot. So he's a
Polyglot.
polyglot. He speaks every language. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Victor drunk, that could be any day of the week. No, I don't
Not
really
anymore.
drink that much anymore. But
No, you're good. Yeah.
but still, at this age, alcohol is just basically poison. You
It's
shouldn't be drinking
toxic.
at
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
all.
arsenic.
Yeah, and I'm actually
Yeah.
going to. By the way, time out. I'm going to go on April 1st. I'm going on. Last year I did 100 days off, no
Yep.
alcohol at all. I'm
Yep.
starting again on April 1st.
Good for you. Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna work out again like crazy, like on April 1st. Anyway, Nagoya comedy. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. No way comedy. Yeah. So while you were drunk, you
So,
did a stand-up
so
routine. You forgot about it.
no. I didn't do this.
Yeah.
I went up to watch it, and
Yeah.
on the way home, I just made a vlog,
Yeah.
a laundry video,
Yeah.
as I walked home, and I completely forgot I made this video. Okay,
Wow.
so months
The
later,
lost
I
files.
found
I'd love
it.
to watch it. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
uploaded it 2 weeks ago. I uploaded it. I found it and uploaded it, and our leader saw it, and he emails me, and so in the video I said, I dropped out of the group because he wanted new material every session, like every show we did, he wanted all the material to be new, and I just couldn't keep up because it was too difficult for me to write
Yeah.
so much new material. But he like sincerely reached out and said, "Oh, dude, I didn't know that's why you quit."
Mm.
And then one of the other comedy groups, actually a magician, Joe,
Yeah.
he also reached out to me and said, "Dude, you should come and do some stand up this weekend. We got a show. Just do 3 minutes, I'll buy you a beer." I'm like, I haven't done in a long time. I got to write some new material. So I did. I went up there. I did 3 minutes, 4 minutes
Nice.
maybe.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. And I felt invigorated. It was one of the most
Yeah.
creative things I've
Adrenaline.
done in a long time. And it only took me a few hours, but I came up with a few stupid jokes.
Nice.
So I'll give you some of my, just to ruin the mood.
Hit us.
So these are some of the jokes I said. Okay, these are terrible, but I said, my wife, she's not generally political. I told her about Trump. I don't like Trump, and she's like, I don't care. And everyone is free to believe what they want to believe. But then I told her that MAGA stands for Make Anal Great Again, and then she's completely against Trump now. That was one of the jokes.
Wait, now she's against it? Wait.
No, she's against it.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah.
If she's for it, that would be a good reason to marry him. But the same guy, by the way, this reminds me, the same guy who our boss, our comedian leader, I should say, he did this. He was he's actually really good, and he's sometimes hired. He was hired to go to Yokosuka.
Yokosuka. Yeah.
He was hired to go to Yokosuka. I think this is the story. He went there. He was hired to go to the military base and do a show there. Yeah. And he basically did the whole show on how women don't understand that the only thing men want on their birthdays is anal sex. He did a whole show on that. But the military guys loved it. It was so dark. Anyway. Yeah, our Gary, by the way,
I mean, if they want anal sex, they're on a Navy base, I mean,
there you go, right?
Put 2 and 2 together, guys.
But by the way, this guy, do you remember our Gary? Crazy our Gary?
Yes, I remember our Gary.
He used to be in that group, but they had a falling out.
Okay.
So I don't know the details. So anyway.
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm working on some new material, and I think I'm going to go up again.
Yeah.
I was invited to a comedy showcase on next Monday with a guy from NHK named Patrick. You know the guy?
Oh.
Pakun.
Yeah, Pakun. Oh wow.
Yeah,
he's
but
like
I can't. Yeah, he's a celebrity, but he's doing a celebrity. He's doing comedy, not kind of a workshop.
Okay.
And I've done a little stand up. They said I could go, but I can't actually make it Monday, so I'm really bummed out about that. But
that's a shame. Yeah.
But anyway, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun to get up there. Yeah. I got other jokes, but I don't wanna.
Spoil them. Yeah, you need to write more new material before you can show the old.
No, I got many more but they're a little bit graphic. I tend to veer to the blue side. I tend to play blue a little bit. But
come back for 2.5 Oyajis and we can get his secret jokes.
Oh, I did want to say one other thing about you. I was very impressed. Yeah, I saw your Instagram post of you kicking that. What is that called? That boxing sandbag?
Oh yeah.
Is that a sandbag or was it a sandbag?
Yeah, sandbag. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that is scary. You guys have got to see this guy's Instagram. He's kicking a sandbag that I swear to God, he'd knock you out. That's a good kick, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was under this impression that you are a runner now, so you are thin and you're like a deer. You can just run thin. You're a thin runner, but your legs are fucking powerful.
Yeah, well,
I'm impressed.
and it's fun, you know. No, so I stopped doing Muay Thai for the whole time I was marathon training. Was you pick up little injuries like when you spar, you knock people and you get like you hurt your knee and you hurt your arm
Mhm,
and stuff like that.
mhm, mhm.
So I didn't want to get any injuries before while I was training, so I stopped doing it. So I just went back and did a few sessions since I got back, and yeah, it's fun. And you know, and actually having the doing all the running, yeah, it lets you kick a bit harder. It's fun. It's kind of funny. When I was hitting some pads, I did a video of hitting the pads, and if you look at it in high resolution, you can actually see there's little bits of the pads flying when I'm kicking them while the guy's holding it. Yeah, you get some satisfaction that I did some damage. Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive, man. So what's your next move?
What's my next move?
Yeah, because
Uh,
before the marathon, you said you were going to try to start
do
building
weights.
muscle.
Yeah, that is the goal. So I actually did quit the gym. I can still use it for 2 months, but because I'm paying for the machine gyms that I was training at, I do want to actually do that. Like for health and longevity, they say you should have muscle mass because you know it
Yes.
just falls away when you get older. So I don't like doing weights. I don't like doing machines, but that is the next goal. So yeah, for me, Muay Thai is fun. I'm definitely going to keep running. I might even do another marathon, but I am going to try to work in some weights and try to build some muscles. Try to
Well,
try
you
to
can
load the
do both,
guns.
and I'm sure there are a
Hmm.
lot of built guys who can do marathons. I mean, it isn't just a
Oh yeah,
skinny guy thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. You know, so basically doing what you've been doing all this time. I want to do what you're doing.
So yeah, my strength is up, but I've been my wife. You know, she drinks every day almost, and she never gains an ounce of weight.
Yeah,
She looks great. I don't understand what her secret is. She must be, I don't know, drinking baby blood somewhere. I don't know what's going on. Anyway,
yeah,
but she looks great, but I can't do that. So I've decided starting April
yeah,
1st, I'm going to go on another 100-day no alcohol.
yeah.
Uh, what is that called? Sabbatical? I don't know what's it called.
A fast or whatever
A
they call
fast,
it.
whatever.
Yeah,
And I talked to AI
yeah,
about making a super simple diet,
yeah.
right? And it's come down to something like 3 tofus, 3 boiled eggs, 3 nattos, a protein shake,
Wow, it's like
and
a
three
Japanese Rocky
and three
movie.
and 3 onigiris every day.
The
I'm
onigiris are an interesting one. I mean, I guess those are your carbs, but you don't need
Carbs. You
carbs
need you
at
need
your
carbs.
age. Well, you need some carbs, but
You need some
honestly,
carbs. But if you're going
yeah.
to the gym, I'm going to the gym. I go to the gym. I still lift pretty heavy.
Actually, you're right. You're doing weights, so carbs,
Yeah,
yeah, you can use them. Yeah.
yeah. So my
I'm sort
my
of cutting carbs a lot lately. That's partly why I got so skinny. Actually, was the cutting the carbs.
oh wow. Well, get to that. I really wouldn't trust AI with diet distribution. No, but that's the stuff I eat anyway. I
Well,
gave it I gave it
Lara,
my
Lara is a nutrition coach. She's saying call her instead of AI.
Okay, Laura, I'll show you my thing. But the thing with me is I want
Victor, that's
simplicity.
not what she was asking for.
Huh?
You
Oh no.
said, okay, Lara, I'll show you my thing. Is that your reflex answer?
Sorry. That's not what I meant.
It's
I apologize.
just
I
naturally
apologize,
comes out.
Laura. That was my Latin instinct.
And it's like, oh,
Sorry,
sure, just get
Laura's
this
from.
out.
Is she from Italy?
Yeah, she's
Oh,
from
that's
Italy.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
That's embarrassing. I'm doing a Duolingo,
yeah.
and I'm doing French and Italian. No, I'm doing French and German, but not Italian yet.
Okay.
I should jump into that. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I'm lazy. I just don't want a difficult diet. So I want things that I can easily buy anywhere, like
mm.
tofu and natto, and like eggs, right? And eggs in Japan
Yeah.
are not
Eggs
expensive,
are
like
great.
America.
Yeah, not like America. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Trump ruined eggs.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
so
eggs are fine here. They're just the same as they always were. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, any big news with you besides the marathon, which is
Big
huge? But
news. I'm going to Singapore tomorrow just for a work trip, but so I won't be doing an after party after this. I've been enjoying the DJing thing that I've been
mm.
doing. Have you seen that? I've been DJing like after my regular
Yeah,
streams, like
of
playing
course.
music. I'm having a lot of fun with that. I've got a good crowd with that. I'm not going to do that today though because I still have to pack my suitcase and I have to fly
Oh,
tomorrow morning.
okay.
But I don't know. I mean, the running was cool. The marathon was cool. I enjoyed a break after that. I'm enjoying the DJing stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, nothing big to report, but just having
And
fun.
we didn't get to the Hanami this year, but we should really try to
Oh yeah,
get a little get together.
yeah. I met DJ Sunny Side Up the other week
Oh,
when he came
really?
up,
He's
and
great.
him and his mum. It was great, and
His
actually Lara
mother.
came out as well. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Her mum's traveling around Japan. I said, hey everyone, come meet up at the restaurant, and
well, that's great.
Lara showed up, but it was cool. So yeah. That's about the
He's
only
one
big
of the
thing that's
most
happening.
positive people I've met.
He
I
really
mean,
is. No, it's all. I mean, and I've known him long enough online to know that that's true. Like,
yeah,
but you meet him in person, and a
yeah.
million percent still the
I
same.
met him, I
Great
think,
guy.
like 15 years ago,
Hmm.
and or so, and he did a flag.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
No.
he
Oh,
could.
on a pole, like holding.
Yeah, he did a flag like right in front of me. It's
Well,
like, this guy's
he
in
sh-
great shape.
he should be a
He
pole
picked
dancer.
up. He held his body up vertically.
I
It's
saw him
amazing.
on his Instagram the other day. I saw him like doing an Namaste thing pose with like the Jean Claude Van Damme kickboxer, legs split across two
You're
beds.
kidding. He can do that? Oh my
On
god.
he did that like literally 4 days ago. On his, if you go and see his Instagram right now, you'll see it. It's like peace everybody, and he's in this pose, and his legs are perfectly split sideways. It's literally Jean Claude Van Damme.
The guy's in
Uh,
great shape.
yeah,
And
yeah,
he's the
no,
friendliest guy you'd ever meet.
and a nice guy.
Yeah.
So yes,
Go check him out.
yeah.
What's his username? Is DJ Sunny, right?
DJ Sunny Side Up.
Oh, you're
It's a
right.
long
That's right.
name, but
DJ
yeah.
Sunny said up. Okay. All right. I'm in Tokyo Town for Star Wars, not the expo with the film concerts. I'll stay tuned to see if you're about.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. All right. Hey, well, we better
Uh,
let you go get packed.
Before you forget, Alzheimer's.
Oh, Alzheimer's. Oh, that's kind of a dark thing to end things on.
Well,
So, well, yeah, I did mention too. So, yeah, I mentioned
yeah.
to Hikosaemon that one of my students has. Oh, yeah, you got to be careful about who's watching your videos, because I made that
Okay.
video never thinking that my ex boss from the comedy group would be watching. He ended
Yeah.
up emailing me the next day. But I've got a student who has Alzheimer's, and she said, I have Alzheimer's, and every week she comes to class, and she's a great student. She's an ex English teacher who
Yeah.
just she's like about 77 years old, and she's Japanese, and she's a great ex English teacher who's just coming to English class to keep her English up, to keep
Yeah.
her mind active. But she's got Alzheimer's now, and she's
Yeah.
mentioned it to us. So what's happened is it's fascinating. Every week she still has very positive. She's a very positive person, but every
Yeah.
week she cannot remember what the last week was about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Tough.
tough because
Yeah.
that's why I mentioned earlier that Japanese people are miserable.
Yeah.
That I wanted to segue into that because she's not miserable. She's still a very very positive person despite the fact that she's Alzheimer's, and people are looking out for her. Her husband and her daughters are all looking out for her. I mean, it's tough to watch, every week repeating the sentences. But the other students in the class are very very
Mm.
positive, and they encourage her and they help her, and they tell her, they say, we did this last week, don't you remember, but they do it in a very very they don't do it in
Yeah.
a very condescending way. They're like,
Yeah.
don't you remember, we did this last week, you remember, don't you?
Yeah.
But it's tough to watch. So I was going to ask you if you had any experiences with that yet, but
No. No.
that's good. That's good, you
Well,
happen to. It's tough to watch.
or yeah, yeah. You talk about something. I mean, that's one of the scary ones, right? That
Yeah.
like. But at the same time, because it is such a problem with all the elderly in Japan and everywhere else, like there's so much research being done on it right now, and people are finding, like, every now and again you always see in the news because it affects so many people. There's things in the news like, oh, plaques in the brain. They've found a link between foods that
Mhm,
cause plaque to build up inside your body and
mhm.
inside your brain that can enhance, which implies that there's kind of diet ways to reduce your risk of Alzheimer's if you're in a high risk group and stuff like
Mm.
that. And
Yeah, there's a
as well
bunch
as
of studies
treatments,
about that.
and there's
People
different
who
types
drink
of
coffee a
medicines that are
lot have
looking to break this up,
lower. Sorry.
stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, and just the other things. You know what? My grandmother's friend who used to take me out to sports games in New Zealand, and has been debunked. Okay, so I mean, whatever it is, the point is, there's stuff. There's a lot of people trying to find a solution to this. The
Yeah.
thing about being active, physically active, I think there's a connection between being physically active. When you
Yeah.
become inactive, that Alzheimer's risk like skyrockets. And that was the
Right. Right.
case. This woman who used to take me out to cricket games and would talk nothing but sports all the time with me. And sort of when she got an injury, and I think this is what happens a lot. People get injured when they're old. They'll have like an accident and they'll become bedridden or house. They'll
Mhm,
be stuck in the house
mhm,
for like a
mhm.
couple of months, and then they'll just decline. Right, the brain doesn't get the stimulation and all that sort of stuff. And so it's part of the importance of exercising and eating. And I mean, again, I'm sure Laura knows more about this than I do, but Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm always whenever you see news about, oh, this is how you can avoid getting Alzheimer's, I pay attention to that sort of news. Like, yeah, and it just reminds it's generally stuff like eat well, be active, use your brain, but it's a good reminder to not be lazy because that's what can happen. I mean, but yeah, I don't know. It's a scary thing, right? So
Mhm.
it's great that your student still is okay and is showing up even with those things. But
Yeah,
man,
she
I
comes
hope
every
they
week.
figure it out.
There've been a couple scary sessions. So she would come like her class was on a Friday, but she came on a Tuesday once by accident,
Yeah.
and she'll
Yeah.
come at the wrong time sometimes, like 1 hour off. She'll be a little
Oh.
confused.
Oh, I
Um,
mean, by the way, sorry, this is a separate rabbit hole, but Lara's saying there's a connection with blood sugar. It's type 3 diabetes. Going into ketosis, where you get rid of all the sugar,
mm,
can clean up the brain. The
oh,
woman
really?
that I was talking about had diabetes, and then she developed Alzheimer's, and yeah, and it
Oh,
was a rapid decline. But yeah, link, but so sugar, it's another reason to stay off alcohol, right? It's you don't really need the extra sugar.
right.
But I don't know.
So
Well,
Jason, I'm going to leave with this. Jason, I've been really bad about responding to emails.
mm,
Um, he says best place to ask questions.
yeah.
Ramble. So
Remember
let's
that.
yeah, give me a break, man, at gmail.com.
Yeah. And Blue Sky, you're on Blue Sky right
Oh
now. Is
yeah,
Give Me a
Blue
Break,
Sky
man.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
Blue Sky, give me a break, man. Yeah, it's the same name, give me a
Yeah.
break, man on Blue Sky. Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
checking that. I've decided to
Don't
become
do it on Elon's platform. I don't know. It's like don't drive Teslas. Don't
yeah,
post on X.
yeah.
He's
I don't think
I'm
people should be
done.
burning Teslas, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I don't feel any sympathy for him.
Yeah, yeah. Him coming out acting all sad and like
Yeah.
the victim thing is like, dude, I haven't heard
You know what was
anyone,
interesting?
dude.
Elon Musk's father today, just a few minutes ago, I saw his father said, "This is great publicity."
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so, but who knows? Those are smarter. I mean, they're rich and we're not, so
Yeah.
maybe there's something to it. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Hey, great to talk to you. Great to see you.
Yeah.
Have a great trip.
Always. It's been the first time in a while. I
Enjoy
will enjoy
Singapore.
Singapore for a few days
Um,
for work, but yeah.
next 2.5
The
years will be
Tesla.
on.
Aaron's comment, the Tesla emoji.
Yes, yes, that's the new Tesla emoji. I saw that. I saw that on. Where
I
did I
should
see
laugh.
that?
I should
No,
laugh,
no.
but
I
it's
saw
funny.
that. I saw that today on one of the night the talk shows. I don't know which
Oh,
one they're about.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, like the video. Poor Victor, struggling
uh,
YouTuber here. Give him
I
a like.
don't care if you like the video or not. I like the video. I'm
I
fine.
like
I'm
the
still gonna
video.
make the videos.
You
I'll
ha-
make the
you have
videos.
you through the
If
screen.
you like the
I'm
video, that'd be nice. You could show it to us.
I
But if
send
you like
I
the
send a
video,
like out to you. Here's a like.
yeah. I
I
hope you
like
like the video as much as
I like.
someone's gonna freeze this.
Nobody screen kept that. Uh,
You know what's funny is that people are like it wasn't racist, and I'm like, okay, then why don't you do it? Go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, do
You
it
do
right now.
exact. Just
Do it.
repeat
Wait, wait,
repeat
wait.
what he did. If
Let
you
me
think
get
it
my
was
camera. Right, do it now.
all right, guys. Thanks for watching,
Yes, have a good one, everyone.
and we'll talk to you soon. Good night. See you in next month. Bye.
Yep.
And stream.